Yo, Celtics Nation! Buckle up because today's news is about to hit you like a fast break. The Boston Celtics are caught in a storm that could change everything. Injuries that shake the core, decisions splitting the fan base, and moves keeping us all up at night. Are we headed for glory or chaos? I've got 4 scorching updates straight from the oven that'll glue you to your screen. Want to know what's cooking behind the scenes and how it's reshaping our path? Grab a seat, smash that like button and subscribe, and let's dive into these bombshells. Which one's gonna blow your mind the most? Alright, Celtics Nation, let's cut to the chase. Picture a billionaire swooping in, dropping major cash, and shaking up the future of our squad. Yup, we're talking about the sale of the Celtics. And the big news is Aditya Mittal, CEO of ArcelorMittal, is reportedly throwing down around $1 billion to become the team's second largest shareholder per Sporteco. This isn't just money, it's a sign the game's changing off the court. But what does this mean for our future? Is this cash infusion gonna power us up or just mess things up? The news dropped like a bomb. William Chisholm, leading the buyout, sealed a deal in March to take 51% control in 2025, with the rest coming in 2028. The initial price tag? A cool $6.1 billion, but phase 2 could jump to $7.3 billion. Thing is, the financing was shaky until recently. Enter Mittal, son of Lakshmi Mittal, a tycoon sitting on Goldman Sachs' board with a $23.9 billion fortune. He plugged the financial gap, locking in the deal. And get this, Mittal might even step up as an alternate governor down the line. That's major clout. Alongside Chisholm and Mittal, the buying group includes heavy hitters like Robert Hale, Bruce Beal Jr., and private equity firm 6th Street, which will snag about 12.5% of the team. There was some drama since 6th Street was putting in more cash than Chisholm, which the NBA doesn't allow, but it's all sorted now, with Chisholm securing at least 15% control. Goldman Sachs is running the show as the financial advisor. So, Nation, what's this mean for the Celtics? First off, this cash could steady the ship against the financial crunch looming, especially with a massive luxury tax bill we'll get to later. But new owners bring new ideas. Will they shake up the roster, tweak strategy, or even change how the team runs? Weiche Grausbeck stays as governor for a bit, but Mittal's crew might start flexing influence soon. Fans are split. Some see this as the boost we need to dominate. Others worry the focus will shift to business over basketball. And here's a kicker. Mittal hails from one of India's richest families with global ties. This could open doors for international partnerships, maybe even grow the Celtics brand worldwide. But it begs the question, will passion for the team still drive decisions, or will money call the shots? Sportico dropped this bombshell and social media's lit up. Some fans are hyped about the financial upside. Others fear we'll lose the team's soul. But that's just the start, because the next news will make your heart race. Imagine losing a star who's defined our recent run. Hold up, Celtics Nation. Brace yourselves. This one stings. The season ended in a way no one saw coming. The Celtics fell to the Knicks in the second round of the playoffs, but the real gut punch came off the court. Jayson Tatum, our guy, our leader, suffered a devastating Achilles tendon tear. This changes everything. With Tatum sidelined for most of next season, the team's at a crossroads and fans are reeling. How do we handle this? And what's Brad Stevens gonna do to keep us afloat with a luxury tax bill exploding? Tatum's injury is a nightmare. A guy who carries the team, an all-star, a leader on the floor, now out for months. It doesn't just mess with our game. It throws all our planning into chaos. The Celtics are already strapped with the salary cap, and the luxury tax is hitting harder than ever. Sources say William Chisholm's decisions on handling this financial mess will decide who stays and who goes. Fans are screaming on social media, "Don't touch the core!" But honestly, keeping everyone seems impossible. Stevens is in a tough spot, balancing talent and cash. And here come the hot rumors. Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis are on the trade block. Why? Their contracts are hefty. Holiday's locked in for $104.4 million over the next 3 years, and Porzingis, while younger, can't stay healthy. Problem is, neither shined in the playoffs. Holiday had his worst season since his rookie year, averaging 11.1 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 3.9 assists. Porzingis is a beast when he plays, but his injury history spooks teams. Who's gonna take those contracts without a haul of draft picks? But here's a silver lining, if you can call it that. The East is weaker this year. Even without Tatum, the Celtics still have a shot at the playoffs, with Jaylen Brown stepping up as the leader. The big question is, do we fight for the postseason now or aim for the future? Trading Holiday or Porzingis could ease the salary cap, but it might also slam our championship window shut after last year's title. Stevens has worked magic before, but this challenge is wild. Fans are torn. Some want to keep the squad together. Others think it's time to rebuild. What's Chisholm gonna do? Pay the luxury tax and hold the roster, or tighten the belt and reshape the team? Tatum's injury is forcing tough calls, and the next few months will be make or break. But hold tight, because the next news unveils a plan that could shift our future even more. Celtics Nation, get ready for the next shock, because the future is looking murkier. With Tatum's injury and the luxury tax squeezing, Brad Stevens is under the gun, and now there's a bold plan. Trading Jrue Holiday to the Clippers. Yup, one of our pillars might be out the door. The deal would reportedly bring Bogdanovic, Jordan Miller, Drew Eubanks, and draft picks. Sounds crazy? Maybe, but it's a move to ease the payroll without gutting the team. The catch: does this make sense for our future? Holiday at 35 with $104.4 million guaranteed through 2028 had his worst season since his debut, posting 11.1 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 3.9 assists. He was clutch in last year's title run, but his recent playoffs were lackluster. Trading a guy like that is risky, but his salary is a heavy anchor. The plan is to send him to the Clippers, who need a veteran point guard. In return, Bogdanovic brings shooting and playmaking. Miller's a young prospect with upside, and Eubanks adds depth in the paint. The draft picks, a bonus to build for the future, but pump the brakes, nation. The Clippers already have an aging roster with Kawhi and crew. Do they really want another veteran like Holiday? And for us, Bogdanovic solid, but he's not the defender Jrue is. Miller and Eubanks are gambles, not sure bets. Social media's on fire. Some fans think this is a genius Stevens move to stay competitive without Tatum. Others are freaking out, saying it's the end of our defensive identity. It's all about balance, easing the luxury tax while still fighting for the playoffs. Stevens has pulled off brilliant trades before, like landing Porzingis and Holiday, but this time it's different. Without Tatum, Jaylen Brown becomes the main man, and we need pieces that fit around him. Bogdanovic could help on offense, but defense is a concern. Those draft picks could be gold later, especially with a weaker East giving us a shot to compete even shorthanded. But if this trade flops, we could end up stuck in no man's land. Not contenders, not rebuilding. The big question: is this the best we can do? Or is Stevens cooking up something bigger? With Chisholm and the sale moving forward, will he free up cash to keep the roster or push for cuts? Fans want answers, and the next few days are going to be heated. And speaking of cuts, the next news will have you on the edge of your seat, because another starter's fate is up in the air. Celtics Nation, you ready for the next hit? With Tatum out and the luxury tax tightening, the Celtics are on a tightrope. And the latest bomb is we might lose 2 starters this offseason. Bleacher Report dropped that Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis are the top trade targets, but even Derek White's name is floating around. This is an earthquake for the roster. The goal is to ease the payroll and dodge a financial crisis, but at what cost? Are we throwing away our shot in the East or setting up for something bigger? With Tatum sidelined by his Achilles tear, Jaylen Brown becomes the guy, and protecting him is priority one. But Holiday, with his $104.4 million through 2028, is coming off a rough season with 11.1 points and nagging injuries. Porzingis is a unicorn when he plays, but he's always banged up. Bleacher Report says they're the most likely to go because their contracts are massive. The problem? The market's tough. Who's taking those salaries without a stack of picks? And Derek White. He's gold with his defense and shooting, but he could fetch a bigger return in a trade. Fans are losing it. On social media, some are yelling that trading Holiday and Porzingis betrays our 20-24 title. Others say it's time to look ahead, especially with a weaker East where we could still sneak into the playoffs. But here's the risk. Without these guys, our defense, once the team's hallmark, could crumble. And if White goes, we lose a guy who holds it all together. Stevens is under insane pressure, with Chisholm pushing to cut costs, but no one wants a mediocre team that's just treading water. What's at stake is the Celtics' direction. A full rebuild feels like overkill, but keeping the roster as is seems impossible with a luxury tax looming. Trading Holiday or Porzingis could bring young talent and picks, but it might also close. Our title window, White, if traded, could yield a huge haul, but it gut the fan base. Stevens has worked miracles before, but this is next level. The East gives us a chance to compete, but without Tatum and fewer starters, how far can we go? The big question, what's Chisholm's priority? Pay up to keep the team or overhaul to avoid financial collapse? And what do you fans think? Stick with the core or bet on the future? While we process this, hold on tight, because the wrap-up will have you ready to yell in the comments. Celtics Nation, what a roller coaster. Aditya Mittal's $1 billion could save or reshape our soul. Tatum's injury is a punch to the gut, and the potential trades of Holiday, Porzingis, or even White have fans split. Chisholm and Stevens are at a crossroads. Pay the luxury tax or shake things up? The East is weak, but without our core, what's our ceiling? Is it time to fight for the playoffs or plan for the future? What do you think? Will these changes sink us or put us back on top? Drop your take in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's talk ball.